What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Enigmatica 2 Expert. Oh yeah, guys. So last episode, we started working with our applied energistics, setting up auto crafting, just very basic, getting us started auto crafting. And we got our processors over here being automatically made. We have the printed silicon, the other 3 circuits, and then we have another inscriber down here to put all the parts together. I did make 2 additional patterns here, one for the calculation, one for the engineering, and we had made the logic together. They're all basically the same thing. So eventually what I want to do with this, so we can be more efficient with making our processors, is I would like to have, since we have 3 that can make these different circuits here, right? So we have the logic, the calculation, and the engineering. I would like to have 3 inscribers specifically for making printed silicon. That way, if we're trying to make all 3 types, they can all 3 be made at the same exact time. Or if we're trying to make, I don't know, just logic, we can produce the silicon for that way faster. Anyway, and then since we're going to have all 3 of those being made with 3 different things of silicon, we are going to want 3 of the inscribers to put them all together. So if we're trying to make all 3 types at the same time, they all can be made in their own inscriber. I keep hitting the microphone. So yeah. That's a thing that we're going to be doing in the future. I was just kind of like making this hole in the wall big enough so we have enough room. So we'd have another inscriber here and inscriber here. So all 3 of these would be putting processors together. These 3 right here would be making the silicon. And then finally, the 3 at the end over here would be doing the 3 different types of circuits. So yeah, that is for the future. But another thing that I like doing is when we get the automatic circuits done, I want to get the growth chamber hooked up as well. Yeah, it doesn't really fit up here. We put it here because we had AE power and it was convenient, but this needs to go. So let's move it. We're going to take that out of here. For now, we'll just fill that in with a little bit of quartz. Yep, there we go. We'll be rearranging this as well also. Okay, so this guy, actually, before we go down there, we need to get some ME glass cable. Do believe we're going to need extra of that. Okay, so down here, I think in the bottom center, we're just going to remove this guy. We're going to place the crystal growth chamber right here. And we are going to need a torch, apparently. Let's put one there. All right, so I need to open up back here a little bit more so we got some room to work. What is going on? Hold up. Where did that come from? Oh. Wait, why? What? I'm confused. Why is this a hole in the ground here? I don't recall that being a big hole in the ground. Oh boy. Okay, well, let me... I'm dropping everything. Fail. Let me grab, I guess, dirt? Yeah. That was unexpected. Okay, so now we got dirt there. We got night vision too. Anyway, what I wanted to do was to open this up. Hopefully we don't get more of that raining down on us. It's very possible we might. No, it looks like we're going to be fine. And this... Okay, get rid of all of this stuff. Yeah, just open this all up so we have room to work. So that's our crystal growth chamber, and we need the applied energistic signal coming up to this thing. So another thing that we are going to want is an interface right here. So I guess the interface right here, so it can talk to the crystal growth chamber. So let's grab, yeah, glass cable right here. So this is getting power from the cable. This will get channels from the main applied energistic system. And then we need to run this line, if I can actually connect it properly, right in there. Okay, so now these are going to have their channels. We're using 5 of them right now. And then, yeah, I was thinking like we didn't have to do that before because the applied energistics cable was touching one of these inscribers, which was communicating to all those. I wonder, is there a way we could do that simpler? Maybe? Can I get in here? Maybe? If we could just touch one of those inscribers, we'd be just fine, yeah? Maybe we don't have to run so much cable. I don't know if this crystal growth chamber passes channel. Let's do some testing. We might not need all this cable here. Well, I need to fix these torches. That needs to come over one, I think. And this one, I think we had one right there. All right, everything should be fine. So let's see, do we have those processors available for AutoCraft? We do, okay. So the crystal growth chamber itself does in fact pass the channels just like the advanced inscribers did. So we don't need any more cables over here. So we're using 5 channels here. This does not use a channel. All right, so let's get rid of all of this. We don't need this. And I would expect that we could just put the interface right here and it'll be getting the channel from the crystal growth chamber as well. So let's go make ourselves one interface. Go ahead and auto craft that, and we don't have power in the system for some reason. It seems like whenever I do anything with the applied energistics system in this pack for the first time after logging into the world, whether I put in a whole bunch of items or auto craft in this case, it always like depowers and then repowers. It's really weird. I don't know why it does that. Okay, so we definitely don't want it talking to that pipe. So we need to... Why don't I have a wrench on me? Oh my goodness. Normally I keep a crescent hammer or something in my pouch. Today I don't. Hammer. We got plenty of them. We should have one in our pouch at all times. Okay, so we want to come back over here and disconnect that guy. All right, so we should be pretty much good to go. The only other thing we need to do is extract from the crystal growth chamber back into the interface. So we are going to need a few items here. Probably just some item ducts. Item duct. And do we have servos? Servo. Let's get a good one. Make a high-end resonant one. Okay, that should be just fine. So we want to extract, not that. Extract out of here. We want to disconnect it from talking to anything else. And it looks like it is connecting to this pipe over here as well. I mean, I guess we could do that, but let's just get rid of that. All right, so we're going to extract out of this guy right here, crystal growth chamber. It'll be always active, and we're going to whitelist. So anything we put in the whitelist, it'll pull out of here. So things that we want to whitelist are all the pure crystals, including fluix and pure fluix. So we want both of these. We are going to want pure certus, and we don't have any pure quartz. I don't know how much pure quartz we're going to be using throughout the series, but since that is an item that we can auto craft through there, let's just go ahead and do it like this anyway. Did that retain the acceleration cards? It must have, because I don't have it in my inventory. Yep, it did. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and throw these guys in here. While that's doing, let's click these into there, and there it is, pure quartz. All right, so when these are done, oh, I can't click those back in there. When those are done, this servo should extract, since it's on the whitelist, any of those, and just send it right over into the interface right here. All right, so the only thing we need to do at this point is create some recipes so we can automate this. So let's clear that all out. So we want to say that certus quartz. Oh, you know what? We have to make a few more recipes because we have to tell certus quartz seeds are going to equal one of these. So let's make recipes for that. So certus quartz, we need to make the dust version of this item. Okay, so we can say that one of the certus quartz dust plus sand is going to make the certus quartz seed. Okay, so we have that. Let's put that item in there, and then we can actually craft the seed. So we can do the same thing with a few of these things. So let's grab the quartz, one of those, plus a sand. Wait, what was that? Tiny pile of quartz dust. Weird. Okay, so we can do this guy, and that'll make the seed. Can I craft that? I can. Perfect. I'll place this guy over here. Certus quartz seed turns into the pure certus quartz crystal. We need to get ourselves fluix. Yeah, we do have fluix dust. Perfect. Okay, so we can do that. That'll turn into that guy. There's our recipe for that. We'll craft one of those. So now we have all the components here. So now we can go into this one and say that 2 of the fluix seeds are going to turn into 2 of these. You can do that by right-clicking to place another one into that slot. And there's that one. So we can do 2 of those are going to equal 2 of these. This is getting confusing with my inventory management here. 2 of those turn into 2 of those. There we go. Okay, so if we place these guys down here, we also have to do one more thing, but we'll worry about that here in a moment. This guy, we need this. Yeah, and then we also need a recipe for the Fluix. So we'll have to worry about that in a moment. Now here's another thing. Since we're using these item ducts here, this interface needs to be pointed at the crystal growth chamber. Otherwise, it'll see this as an inventory and try and push the items into the pipe, which has nowhere to go, so it'll push it back into the interface. So you'll queue up the recipe, it'll say it's crafting it, and nothing will ever happen. So really the only thing we have to do is take a wrench in our hand, right-click the back of this, the opposite side, and it points the arrow the direction of the item that it wants to push the items into. So there we go. Now here's another thing. Previous to me realizing that we had to point the interface at something, I said that the crystal growth chamber would push the channels into the ME interface and we didn't need the extra cable underneath it. Now that we've made this thing sided, it has to be pointed at something. I don't believe it accepts any ME channel connection from here, so I think we do have to put a cable directly underneath it to get channels. So we will place that there. So I think we should be pretty much set up for everything that we need to do at this point. As long as we have those seeds in the system, since we don't have a way to auto-craft them yet, we should be able to tell the system to create any of these pure seeds. So if I wanted to make pure Fluix crystals, we'll just tell it that. Okay, so get rid of the 2 Fluix that we had here, the seeds. They should be down here in the crystal growth chamber. It looks like things are happening, and those get extracted out. Okay, so those complete, or those go back in the interface, which should complete the auto craft. Yeah, we have no crafting jobs active. Okay, simple, easy. That is very, very good to have done. The next thing that we should do, let's look at the pure, or the regular Fluix. So we want to get ourselves charged Certus quartz crystal, plus we want quartz, nether quartz, which we don't have any in here. Wow, really? Okay, we don't have any in there. Do I have any in here? Got lots of the blocks of quartz. All right, so we'll do that, decompress all of that quartz. One of those goes into there, and then we need a redstone, and one of those goes into there. And that should make, I think, 2 Fluix, not the pure, the regular stuff. Okay, so that's the final thing that we need, and then we need one of those for the whitelist as well. And that should be pretty much all we need to automate our crystal growth chamber. So that guy goes here when we need to whitelist the Fluix crystal right there. Okay, I think we should be good to go. Oh, I already did that. Whoops. Yeah, so we should be good to go here. I should be able to tell the system, hey, create some Fluix crystals, and that should just appear in the system. So let's try that. Let's make like 20. Oh yeah, that's working. Very, very awesome. Okay, great. So all that auto crafting is now done. The last step that we need to do is just a bit of cleanup. All right, guys, so we got that buttoned up about as good as it can be down below for right now. The next step is we should get ourselves a pattern terminal hooked up here so we don't have to keep going down to each interface and putting in patterns all the time. It's just going to make our life that much easier. So let's go ahead and we will grab one of our glass cables here. We'll just place this guy like so. And interface terminal, I just made that a second ago. That's just an engineering processor, illuminated panel, and then an ME interface. Very simple stuff. So this guy will show you all of the interfaces on your network and all the patterns that are in them. So, and it also tells you the name if the name's available. So these are the advanced subscribers, our crystal growth chamber, and molecular assemblers. You can see we have 3 of them. I just added 2 more interfaces down here onto this one molecular assembler so we can have more crafting space. Again, that's going to be changed in the future, but for right now, that's where we're at. Let's grab a facade, and then we can cover up this, make that look a little bit nicer. Very good. Right. Also, I want that anvil out of here. Get that out of here. So another thing I'd like to do is make ourselves another ME drive and then fill that up, and then full of the 1Ks at the very minimum, since we're almost out of different storage space here. And then we should look at upgrading those like 4K or 16Ks. We'll look at that here in a moment. But let's make another ME drive to start with. So ME drive, that does require us to have the disk drive, some engineering processors, iron item casings. So probably at this point, it might be a good idea for us to start looking at auto crafting some of these different components. Like we can auto craft this, everything else we cannot. Yeah, so let's start working on that. So in order to make the iron casings, we need these iron sheet metals, and in order to make the iron sheet metals, we need 4 iron plates. We don't have a way to make iron plates. Now, there are a couple of different ways for us to make those. Iron plate. We can do that using our metal press over here, but that metal press can be like one of 4 different things that we currently are using on it. So that's probably not going to work unless we make 3 additional one of the metal presses. Another way we can do that is through the compactor from thermal expansion. Yep. So 1 compactor, you can put in an iron ingot and it'll give you the iron plates. You can also add an augment to this machine where I'll take 4 of one material and make a gear. At least that's the way it is default. I don't know on this mod pack, but let's go ahead and make ourselves this machine. Apparently I am missing something here. Let me go back to here. We'll add that to our list. So we need 2 copper gears. So we don't have any copper gears. So let's go over to our metal press over there and we will make 2 copper gears. We might even make a second one of these thermal expansion machines so we don't have to worry about making gears on this machine anymore. It looks like we already got the gear set up over here. Awesome. Yeah, I think it probably would be best overall just to use thermal expansion to make gears going forward. But for right now, we're going to do this. So there is 1 compactor. Awesome. All right, so now that we have that, we can throw that over here somewhere. Probably right where this disenchanting thing is. I'm going to move that over one if I can. Oh, that doesn't work. I was trying to use carry-on mod for that by doing a shift right click in this mod pack. Didn't work. So we can't quite do that here. All right, so we got that guy. Let's put these components back into here. Okay. So compactor is filling it full of power. Probably one of the first things we want to do. Yeah, let's go ahead and upgrade that. So we have the signalum upgrade kit, the resonant. We need the hard and we need the reinforced. Yeah, let's do that. Upgrade kit. I was trying to think, like, is there something I should be doing instead? No. So there's a hardened upgrade kit. There is a reinforced. Okay, and then signalum and resonant. All right, so we should be able to upgrade that thing fully. That guy, and that guy. Now, there is a way you can combine those different things into one upgrade. I forget what it's called. Let's take a look at the uses of that. Conversion kit. Yeah, you can put all 4 of those together into a conversion kit and then right-click once to fully upgrade it if you want to do that. Doesn't really matter. How often do you make the resonant machines like this? Anyway, so now that we have this guy here, we can put an interface on it. Craft that. Okay, so we'll place an interface on here and then we should be able to make the plates out of this guy. Now, obviously we don't have applied energistics over here, so we are going to have to run some cabling. All right. And is that good? Do I have to go up one more? Actually, not sure. Nope, we are fine right there. Okay, so we'll just run this cable down like so and connect it. And that's all we have to do. That is now hooked up to our applied energistics system. Very good. Oh, I guess we can fill this in right here. All right. So now that's done, we need to set the configuration here. Shift right click on the middle thing. We want to set this to push pull on the center so it'll accept and send items. And we can also say auto input enabled if we want to like set a configuration thing here, like put iron and just make all the iron plates. Not actually sure that we want to do that on a compactor, to be honest. So we'll just leave that off for now. So now we can come over here and say iron ingot. We'll turn into an iron plate. Do we have an iron plate in here? We don't. Okay, so we have to go make that another method. I wonder if the IC2 would have been faster at this point. I don't know, but we'll just place that here. Place the iron. Swap that back to the gear for now. Okay, and there we go, iron plate. So now we should be able to make these a lot quicker than we have been making them. And we can do it automatically, which is going to be fantastic. Okay, that is the wrong slot. Pattern. You want to put it into the other slot. This one, the one that's labeled patterns. Okay, so now if we want to make iron plate, we can say make 10 of them. And what happens? Ooh, we are making iron plates. Now we can make those faster. We got to put the augments in here. So let's do that. That is called I can't remember, thermal augment. It's the very first one, auxiliary reception coil. Do we have any of those? No. So we can put 2 of those in there for now. Whoops, didn't mean to pick up the machine. Yeah, so that is filling up. Does it say how much? Okay, so it uses 1,350 RF per tick to make iron plates going forward. That's fine. And we can put 2 more augments in there to fully augment it, but we'll worry about that later. Okay, so now that we have iron plates, we can get back to, oh boy, where was it? You can press up and down on this, by the way. Yeah, we're trying to make the ME drive. I guess I should put that over here and get all these things out of here. ME drive, so we're trying to make an iron casing, and for that we need the iron sheet metal. This guy can be made just like so. So now the system knows how to auto craft that once we put that into one of our molecular assemblers down below. And while we're doing this, let's put our seed patterns in there. Okay, so now the system knows how to create all these different seeds, and it knows how to make the iron sheet metal. Okay, so now if we tell it iron sheet metal, next, start, boom, we can craft that. Awesome. Okay, so let's do the iron casing. So we are missing the guy in the center of that. So that means we need a carpenter. Okay, sturdy casing is probably the next one. So we should make the bronze gears. We should make, yeah, tell you what, I will make another one of these compactors, upgrade it, and make it specifically for gears. There is an augment. If you go thermal augment, one of these you can put into that compactor and it will make gears. This one right here. Allows the efficient creation of gears. Gears are used in construction of numerous things. So yeah, that goes in the compactor, and then that compactor from then on will only make gears. Let me go ahead and make another compactor, upgrade it. We'll be back. All right, guys, so we got ourselves another compactor fully upgraded with 3 of the auxiliary reception coil augments and the gear working die augment. I did put all 4 of them into this one, and that uses a total of 2,250 RF per tick, which doesn't really matter at this point. Well, currently it doesn't matter since we have our extreme reactor over there producing way more power than we can possibly use at this exact moment. But anyway, I made patterns here for bronze gear and copper gear. So 4 copper goes in, 1 copper gear comes out. Yep, pretty simple. I did have to end up making a pattern over here for a steel plate because of all the different components that were going into this thing. So hardened casing. This is a recipe that's going to have to be auto-crafted at another time. It does use a forestry machine, and this thing goes kind of slow. Advanced carpenter, this is probably going to be the way we're going to want to do this at some point in the future, but I do believe that that's an expensive machine. How do I get to see? Oh, here it is. Structure preview. Yeah, it requires a lot of these blocks and stuff, but if we can automate it using this instead of the carpenter, I think we're going to be much better off. But for right now, yeah, we're just going to manually craft this, but the sturdy casing itself, we can auto craft. Yeah, so if I say make 10 of those, if we have all the components, it can craft those copper gears, the bronze gears, and do everything that it needs to do. Obviously, we're gonna need to upgrade our storage system here. We have plenty of copper, but all of it's in the block form. So we need to move all of our resources into compacting drawers so it shows that we have all the nuggets, all the ingots, and all the blocks available. And then our auto crafting will be much better at that time. Otherwise, we could just make crafting patterns that tells the system how to uncraft those blocks. Don't really want to do that. So I did make some patterns here for the formation core, the annihilation core. I made a pattern here for ME storage housing, which does require an iron chest in the recipe. And then I just got done making a pattern for the 1K ME storage components. And we already have 10 of these ME storage housings here. So 1K storage. Yeah, we got the thing here. So let's make 10 of those. Looks like everything's available. So that is just a quick craft. And then we can just put all those guys together like so. There's 10 of those. And, oh, that didn't shift click. That was on my hotbar. Okay, so there we go. Now we got a lot more storage available. So things that I like doing when I have multiple disk drives, I like giving these priorities. So like everything will try and go to this one first. Let's set this to like 5. So everything in the system will try and go to this one first. It's got the highest priority. We'll set this one next lower. So that'll be a 4, and then this one will eventually be a 3. Yeah. So everything will try and go here. Then when that fills up, it'll go here. And then when that one fills up, it'll go here. That way it's just not like randomly picking one and you got some empty drives over here and some over there. And you don't really know how much space you have. Yeah, I think that's a better way of doing it personally. So yeah, now that we have extra space going, we can start looking at putting other things into our system here. Like I did want to start taking all the stuff that we are getting from our void ore miner and have that automatically going into our applied energistic system. But yeah, that was just going to be a lot of extra ores and things. I didn't really want to deal with that at the time, but now that we got the extra space, we should be fine. Then we're going to have to upgrade those discs so they can hold more. How are we doing the erodium? I think we need 48 times 2. Ooh, we are there. So we got the 6 blocks needed for the void ore tier 2. And then we needed 48 times 2 to upgrade these blocks, the structure frame tier 1s, to the tier 2. So we could, at this point, upgrade this thing. That's pretty awesome. I'll just let it go for now. We'll work on that sometime soon in the near future. But yeah, we got a whole bunch of autocraft stuff going on today. Our system's looking better. No more hodgepodge stuff all around here. It looks a lot cleaner. I did get rid of that ultimate furnace. There's not a lot of reason to continue using that with the speed of our regular redstone furnace over here. So I think we're just going to use this one in its stead going forward. I did add in a bunch more ME interfaces, and we are currently using 5 channels of the available 8 channels that we have going all the way down here. So pretty soon we're gonna have to upgrade this cable to just do P2P channels only, or we could make it into a dense cable and use a lot more resources. P2P is definitely the way to go. We'll be looking at that here pretty soon. Are those expensive in this pack, or is it the default recipe? I am curious. We want this one. That's the default recipe. Awesome. So that's gonna allow us to get going with our applied energistics much quicker. I like it. Guys, we're gonna go and wrap it up here for today. A lot more auto crafting stuff going on. We're definitely in a good place now. Expanding out the network, getting more autocraft stuff going on. That's what we're gonna be looking at like doing here in the near future. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time.